Hello, welcome to Kidney Confidence Today, Proven Solutions to Thriving with Kidney Disease. I'm Michelle McMurtry, registered dietitian with Nutrition Specialist Group. And I'm here today with Dan Holmes. Dan is a U.S. Navy Special Operations veteran, a kidney warrior, and founder of the Enlisted Kidney Foundation, a veteran-led 501c3 nonprofit powered by purpose-driven action to advocate, connect, support, and educate for kidney health. After being diagnosed with a rare and non-curable kidney disease due to toxic exposure during military service, Dan transformed his battle into purpose. When a stroke left him unable to walk or talk, his wife Stacy and son Jordan became his voice, standing by him through every challenge and fueling his fight to recover. Today, Dan leads EKF by Example, one of the fastest growing nonprofits in the country in this space, champion kidney health and policy change through national advocacy. He has spoken on Capitol Hill before members of Congress, presented to the FDA and NIH, and sat on scientific panels with leading researchers to push for more innovative, patient-centered treatment options and a cure. In July 2025, Dan and the EKF team returned from a highly successful trip to Washington, D.C., where they received overwhelming congressional support for the passage of H.R. 1518, a landmark bill aimed at improving care and outcomes for kidney patients nationwide. Dan also played a role in helping secure the passage of FSGS Awareness Day in several states, including Florida, giving rare kidney disease patients a platform they have never had before. Dan Holmes is NephCure's 2024 Impact Award recipient and one of the most influential faces and voices in kidney disease space. Through EKF, he continues to build a nationwide movement grounded in strength, service, and the belief that every kidney warrior deserves to live a bold, empowered, #filtered life. Dan, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. That is amazing. All the work that you have done and this advocacy for the kidney community. I'm like honored that you're here.
Oh man, I appreciate it. I love being here. What we're gonna do today is we're gonna have fun, but we're gonna have some great conversation that is definitely needed in this space for sure.
Totally
So I
needed.
appreciate you having me on. I appreciate being a part of everything that you have going on as well.
Yeah, thank you. As we spoke before when we were, talking about how you could bring in, a side, as you know, I'm a registered dietitian, but I also, when I work with my clients and work with people, I can talk about kidney in nutrition, but there is just this other side that they are struggling with that I am like, they need, some guidance. They need help. They don't know the questions to ask. Like they don't know what they don't know. So they can't even advocate for themselves. And so today, I think what we were going to talk about really is like, what if you're first diagnosed? What are those questions you want to ask? Some people are like, if I had known X, Y, and Z a year ago. If I had met you, Michelle, a couple of years ago, I'm like, yeah, so you don't know what you don't know. So today we're going to talk about kind of what to do and what questions to ask in the beginning of your diagnosis and what questions to ask that might start to change as the chronic condition progresses and everyone's on a different timeline, right? Yeah. We all know this. And so as our audience kind of, wants to, they're your own individual to the audience, your own individual story and where your kidney health is yours. It isn't somebody else's. You just need to educate yourself and kind of say, okay, where am I at? And so I think that's why I wanted, Dan to come here as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, kidney disease itself affects so many of us. And then really until you start having the conversation, will you not realize how prevalent kidney disease is? When you're walking around, I was walking around the streets of DC and just having random conversations. And these people are so many people that either had family members or friends or, that have suffered from kidney disease. And when you start asking the questions about it, they don't know. They don't know how they got it. They don't know why they have it. They don't know if it's hereditary. They don't know much about kidney disease. So we're going to talk about kidney diseases today. I think that every last one of your viewers, after they leave here today, are going to go home with some really good resources and some tools in their toolkit to
Yep,
be able to tackle whatever they're going through.
exactly.
And we're here to support them through their journey as well. So I appreciate
Awesome. Yeah, I hear you. Is it 1 in 3 people are at risk? Like 1 in 3 people are at risk of developing chronic kidney disease. Millions of people have it, but yet no one talks about it. So, again, talk to your family members. You may have an uncle, you may have an aunt, you have somebody that's, struggling with it or is on dialysis and you don't quite know how they got there. It's important just to kind of understand that part of health, the health of for you,
absolutely.
what are your risk factors, So,
Absolutely.
okay, so it's like our part one of like, okay, what if you're out there and you just heard the words, you have chronic kidney disease for the first time? And I've had some people come to me and they felt like the rug was pulled out from under them. With chronic kidney disease, how do you explain what that means? What does that mean for people? Maybe when you heard it, you were, totally
Well, I didn't even
thrown
know.
back.
Like, let's talk real quick about the kidney itself.
Oh,
We have
yes.
two kidneys. Most humans are born with two kidneys. I have met somebody that's born. My stepfather has three, and they all kind of work together. But
Oh my gosh.
so most people are born with two kidneys, right? And the kidneys are like our filters. So they filter the blood. All the toxins that we urinate out of our body go through our kidneys. So whatever you put in your body
Hmm.
that your body cannot use, it has to get rid of that. Well, that's how we filter. So it filters the blood and it gets rid of the toxins that are in our body. That's the easiest way I can think of, like a kidney is just like a coffee filter, you know?
Hmm.
And when you start messing with the filter or something starts messing with the filter, a lot of bad things can happen, right? And just
Yeah.
for example, some things can happen like high blood pressure. So a
Hmm.
lot of kidney disease and chronic kidney disease is attributed to high blood pressure. So people have high blood pressure. What is high blood pressure, right? So that's the pressure going through our vein cavities. The pressure. So think about a fire hose, right? And you're shooting coffee grinds at a fire hose with water. Wouldn't you expect the filter's not going to be strong enough to hold all of
Hmm.
that?
Hmm.
So you're going to cause damage to the filters. Well, that's what high blood pressure does to your kidneys. And the kidney, once the kidney filters are damaged, they're scarred. And we all know that
Yes.
scars on our body, they don't just go away. We have a scar and the scar's there forever. And that's what happens with your kidneys. So as we damage our kidneys by the things that we put into our bodies that our kidneys have to filter out, that can cause damage to those filters. And that will lower the rate and the ability that the kidney can actually work, right? So the function, we call that the estimated glomerular,
Hmm.
right? So that's the
Filtration
EGFR,
rate.
and that's
Yep.
your filtration rate. So that's the rate at which your body's able to pass those things through the kidney. If we're working at 100%, hey man, we're good, right? So old school math. We all went, if you went to school, old school math would teach you in school that anything below a 60 is probably needs improvement, right? Um, and what's crazy and which is surprising is that the kidney disease space for the longest time, systemically, has been telling people that if you are an African American descent and you show up with an EGFR, right, the filtration rate of 60%, you're okay. And that's a passing grade. And we all know that 60%, while may be a passing grade to
Hmm.
some, technically, it shows us that we need signs of improvement. So the better that we can get, we want to be A students and A students of our body, right? So
I
the
love how you're
higher we can
explaining
get
this.
that up, the better and easier it will be for us, right?
Exactly.
So when I talk to patients and they've been recently diagnosed, we talk about those grades. What's the grading system look like? What does an A, B, C, D, E, improve our score? What do we do? Do I got to take study sessions? Do I got to stay after school and study? Do I got to skip recess today? Right? Those kind of things. So what are we doing to improve? Because we can improve our kidney health, although our scars may not go away. We can
Yeah.
improve the health or maintain what health we have left. Because if we continue on the same path, right? Think of a student. If we can continue on the same study habits that got us the
Mhm.
D in the first place, probably going to start seeing some more decline. If we can catch it early and
Yep.
say, hey, before you even go into this class, right? A lot of people miss these things and
Yeah.
that causes them to have a failing grade. But if I can teach you these things up front before you even start the class, then you have the ammo. You can still fail the class, but you start off with more ammo to make sure that you have the best grade possible. Does that make sense?
Exactly. It does. I love how you explained it kind of in that the school term. I
Very
explain it, my
elementary. I mean, I
brain
think we all
goes,
kind of have been through some
yeah.
sort of education program.
Yeah. And right. And my brain goes to like when you say the filter, I kind of think of our body as a car or as a machine, right? Because we are, and it's a machine that all has to work together. So if one piece of it is not functioning properly, there's another piece that needs to pick up the slack, right? Because our body just wants to, thrive and live, and it wants, oxygen to the brain, and it just so it really all of these major organs do work in together. So when one starts to filter or flutter, let's say, then the others have to pick up. And so yeah, I think of it as a car and the oil filter of a car. I love your example of the coffee filter and then the grading system. So it doesn't mean you got to wait till you're under 60 before you start studying.
Correct.
It's
Why
like,
would we do that? It doesn't make any sense to
doesn't.
anything else that we apply to ourselves,
Yeah,
right? It doesn't make
exactly.
anything sense. If we're trying to make ourselves better in a
Yes.
particular industry, right? And this
Yeah,
particular industry is our own kidneys.
yeah.
Like who
I love
better
it.
to do the work on yourself than you?
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you're newly diagnosed, panic sets in. It is a uncontrollable
Hmm.
reaction to a diagnosis that you know or probably have only heard the
Hmm.
negatives about.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So don't panic is what I tell people. Try not to panic. And if you panic, find somebody that can help manage that panic, right? So get informed. We need to know there's things that people in order to help you and to help
Hmm.
yourself, there's information that we have to know, right? If I just come home with a D, we don't know the actual percentage, correct? If I come home
Hmm.
with a C grade, well, is it a C plus? Is it a C
Yeah,
minus?
exactly. Yeah.
We don't
Yeah.
know where in the course of study are you missing the information, right? If I just see a C and I take English, math, science, and social studies, I don't understand. My overall grade is a C. Well, I don't understand what aspect we needed more
Exactly.
education in.
Exactly.
So you don't, like you said earlier, right, Michelle? You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you start asking questions and you ask questions about your own body. Ask questions about how you currently feel.
Hmm.
Why do I feel this way? Maybe I feel like I'm sick and I have flu symptoms because that's maybe I don't feel anything, but I visually saw some foamy urine in the toilet,
Right.
right? And I was like, that's a little bit different.
Yeah.
So something like that. So start asking questions about what's going on with you today and how you
Mhm.
feel. And whatever got you in front of the doctor in the first place, that ended up with a CKD diagnosis, right? So start there. Start paying attention to your own body.
Right.
What you put in it is going to be as good. You can only get out as good as what
Which,
you
but
put in.
yeah, it's like data in, data out, right? If you're
Good.
not,
Yeah.
you've
So I mean,
gotta improve
all the
that.
years that I've coached not only people but like football, I tell my football students the same thing.
Yeah.
When you study at home and you're watching film, it's not good enough to just have the screen on and playing and you staring at it. You need to
Mhm.
understand what's going on. So if you don't know or understand how to watch film for your particular position, that's where coaching comes into play. And that's what
Yeah.
we can teach you is how to pay attention, how to
Hmm.
understand, and then the questions, right, that you don't know right now will start to populate.
Exactly. You have to
And then
kind of,
once you start getting those questions, and then we're going to help you get answers,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And once you
I
start
love
finding
that.
answers to those questions, the journey has begun. And
Yeah.
hopefully you're going down the path of success because I hate to say it, Michelle, but the medical industry, as much as they are trying to help us, the system itself, most of the time, is designed to just wait until the kidney fails,
Yeah.
right? Like, let's just, yeah, you got a D, we'll change schools next year. Like, what? What? We can
But
fix the
wait.
D. We can coach and we can study and we can ask questions and we can get in front of tutors and right? We don't have to wait until we fail.
Right. Right.
So
We
it's
don't.
just a matter of what are we paying attention to? And
That's
that's where the whole filter life comes into play. Just like you were talking about, our bodies are filters of our environment. We can choose to pay attention to politics if we want to. We can
yeah.
choose to pay attention to the ocean and the beach if that's what we want to
Yeah,
do.
yeah, yeah.
And we can choose to pay attention to our own bodies and what we put into our bodies.
Yeah.
So it just depends on how you filter life.
Right. I love that. Yeah. And I like how you pointed out, like you get this diagnosis, you don't know what's happening, but really it is a diagnosis and you do need to pay attention, like really kind of get in tune with your body, right? A lot of people go through, and we all kind of go through our life of just kind of going through, but yet are you paying attention to how you feel? Are you paying attention to, whether it be your weight, your numbers, what is your blood pressure? What does your diabetes numbers say to you? Don't just kind of go lily-gagging through life, because you need to kind of be in tune with what's happening with your body. Can you change something? And not also how you feel. Do you feel lethargic? Do you feel, are you retaining fluid? Do you kind of have swollen ankles at the end of the day? Is that something you need to pay attention to? All of those symptoms are also something you need to inform your doctor, so that he knows what's happening outside of when he just sees you for the short 10 to 15 minutes in an office. And so that would lead him to ask questions, more questions again, and being able to properly treat where you're at with your chronic condition.
A lot
Yeah.
of people have a misrepresentation of the role of a doctor. That doctor has went to school to learn a profession. So that way, when you show up with the signs and symptoms that doctor studied, that doctor has a better understanding, or should have a better understanding of those symptoms, to apply that real world knowledge of your symptoms and come up either with a diagnosis or a treatment program and those kind of things. But if, like you said before, Michelle, you got 10 minutes maybe with a doctor, right? Am I going to understand your entire medical history? When you walk into a doctor's office and you fill out the paper, right, that you have to sit there and take the pen and go sit over there and, right, put the clean pen in the
Yeah,
dirty pen
yeah,
thing. Anyway, so we have all been through that, whether it's at an urgent care, that who
yeah.
reads those? Is your doctor really reading those and paying attention to those things and all of that, right? Because it seems like when we get back there, the nurse is just going to come back and ask us the same questions. And then the
Mm-hmm.
doctor is going to come in and ask us the same questions. But nobody's really paying attention to the answers that are on the sheet.
Mm-hmm. True. It's like you still
You
have to
got 10
review it.
minutes. You have
Yeah.
10 minutes with this doctor from when he walks into your office, right? Into the room that you've been sitting there, and they're probably late.
Yeah, yeah.
The
They
doc could
are,
be right in, and he comes in. He's like, "Okay, Michelle, what's going on?" And you're
Yeah.
like,
Tell me,
"I was
and
told I
then
had kidney disease," and it's just like, right, and it's like the patient, all of that pressure gets folded onto you as the victim almost. Like, why'd you get punched in the face? Well, I don't know. That's why you study people who get punched in the face. Anyway, so it's that kind of stuff, right? So it's
yeah.
like it's asking. So the analogy we use with learning and education. What about the kids that come in that have the learning disability? They're no different than anybody else, right?
Mm-hmm.
Their body just works in a different way. It's not their fault.
Mm-hmm.
The educator, the person who has taken the education, the doctor,
Mm-hmm.
the professional should be able to articulate and meet you where you are.
Mm-hmm.
But far too often, our system is
Yeah.
designed like this revolving door, and you
Right.
just don't get the time that you need.
Right.
So I try and tell people all the time, get in front of somebody that can help you come up with questions.
Mm-hmm.
Plan your first 10 minutes. Have a plan when you walk in there. We got
Mm-hmm.
to touch on diet real fast. We need to touch on what's going on in my body. We need to
Mm-hmm.
touch on what to expect until my next appointment, because we all know, right? We all know the next appointment is not going to be next week. It it's going to
Three
be
months,
maybe 4
6
months
months.
from now. And it's like, okay, well, when I leave here, doc, I can't take you home with me. I don't have your phone number. The doctors
Right,
aren't
right.
exchanging contact. They're like, hey, text me when you get home when you feel bad, and we'll diagnose this together.
Yeah, it's none of that. Like I have, if I can interrupt, because I want to say, you know, what you're saying is absolutely right. Like, think about when you go to the doctor. I think we all go to the doctor saying, I have this diagnosis. He's going to tell me what to do and how to fix it. And that's where people, you know, come saying, he never told me this, this, and this. And it's like this, who to blame, you know? I didn't know. He didn't tell me. He said everything is okay. We'll watch it. And then they leave. Yet, sometimes you can gear that conversation and have the right questions so that you can say, okay, why is everything okay then? Tell
There it
me
is.
why. Is it, you know, oh, they look at the labs and go, yeah, okay, you're good. You know, because he in his brain is analyzing, assessing, but he's not telling you what he's assessing. So
Correct.
get him to say, well, why? What is my GFR? What is my blood pressure? Why do you say it's okay? What is working? I can keep doing it. And what can you tell me that I can maybe, you know, consider and work on so that I can get, like you say, that D to a C and a C plus, right?
Yeah.
You
Can you
might be
imagine showing up to your
okay.
teacher, right?
Yeah.
And your teacher's going, hey man, that essay that you spent your entire life writing, it's a D. And you're like, why? Well, it's too much to explain. What?
So,
And we only got 10 minutes.
what an analogy. What a great
So, and then you
analogy.
leave and you're like, well, thanks. How was your, you go home and you're having the conversation with your spouse. How was the appointment with the doctor? What'd they tell you? What information? Everybody in your circle is excited for you
Yeah.
because you finally got to the doctor's appointment. You had the doctor's appointment. You're hopeful that you come out of that appointment with a step forward. But
Right.
in the kidney disease space, far too often, that's not the case.
Right. So let's kind of have like two questions, let's say, and then we'll move on to like kind of later stage. So maybe two top questions you would want everyone on this who maybe just diagnosed
Yeah.
ask their nephrologist. Too
Okay.
simple.
Number one, whether it's your nephrologist
Oh, your
or
primary care.
primary care or urgent care, it doesn't matter.
Yes.
Anybody who runs a blood test on you can tell you your EGFR. That's your filtration rate. I would start there.
Yep.
How well are my current kidneys working? And think of it in a percentage
Yep.
and grade
Yep.
yourself. I don't know. You don't have to wait to say someone tell you that a D is good. If somebody's
Yep.
going to tell you that you have an E and it's great, then you probably should get a different doctor. The other question I would ask is how and what changes can I make today when I leave your
Mhm.
office to slow this progression down
Mhm.
and let the doctor fill the rest of the 10 minutes with that information.
Yes. Perfect.
Because that's one of the most important aspects is what am I going to do when I leave here? How do
Yep.
I take care of myself between now and the next appointment? And
Yep.
what things should I be doing to improve my current situation?
There you go. Perfect. Now, let's move on to, I like this part when we had decided things to think about when you're later stages, because we often are in that the newly stage, or you're kind of still going, I'm trying to build up my 60, my D to a C, and then maybe you're getting to an E, and now you're really getting down in the weeds, and but yet you're still trying to reach the I'm going to be able to make it to the next grade. I'm not being
Mhm.
held back. Like, you know, there's a certain point where you say, okay, this is at a point where it's getting, or maybe you were late diagnosed, or it just had advanced. We say advanced stage kidney disease, maybe stage 4, early stage 5. The things that need to be thinking about that no one really likes to talk about and to think about because it's
Yeah.
hard. It's a hard conversation, and doctors don't broach it soon enough. And so,
You know,
yeah.
here's a harder conversation. I need a kidney to save my life today.
Oh, hello.
That's a really hard
Yeah.
conversation to get somebody to listen to and take action on.
Yeah.
So I work backwards. A lot of people will just go through stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. Okay. I think that if anybody tells you that you have stage 3 or worse, okay, 3 to 5, you need to be in front of a nephrologist. It needs to be the next person and doctor on your team. Again, I say team because not one doctor is going to usually help the situation. It's going to take a medical team. It's going to take a primary care doctor. It's going to take somebody that can write those prescriptions. It's going to take somebody like a pharmaceutical doctor that can understand other aspects, because you have to understand one thing with kidney disease. There's not a lot of treatments, right? It's not like I just show up with a headache and the doctor goes, "Oh, we got options, man. You want to take Tylenol, you want to take NSAIDs, you want to take whatever, right? Migraine medicine." With CKD, there's not medication. There is
Yes.
medication now, but there's not a lot of options, and it doesn't work for everybody,
Right.
you know? So I start backwards. If you don't want to have the conversation at stage 2, you're definitely not going to want to have the conversation when you have dialysis machine hooked to your body and you want to get out of that chair. That's not the time to have that conversation. But some people, and I don't want to make everybody feel like a victim, because some people, even like myself, to no fault of my own, I have kidney disease. And no matter what I did,
Right.
my kidneys were failing because my particular kidney disease was driven by my immune system, and my immune system was attacking the kidney. So it didn't matter what I put in my body. It didn't matter what my kidneys were filtering. It didn't matter any of that, because my particular disease attacks the filter membranes of the kidneys,
Right.
right? So it didn't matter what you put in your body. I was losing all my protein. I was losing all my valuable stuff, right? So we want to really diagnose and figure out what is causing the kidney disease. And when you get into, "Hey doc, I just got diagnosed with end stage or stage 4 or stage 3, diet's important, but we're at a point where we're in life save mode. And if you're not in that mode, it's going to be difficult to help yourself later on. And is what it really I'm trying to get to. So the early stages, there are some medications. Start having that conversation, like Jardiance and Farxiga. There's these that are kind of help the kidneys and give them a little bit of a boost. You know, and treat your kidneys with respect. Start then, now, that day.
Yeah.
You know, and that begins with the things that we talked about before. So stage 1, 2, and 3, we talked about what we're putting in our body. Stage 3, 4, and 5, we need to have more elevated and advanced conversations with a nephrologist and be building our team around us.
Yeah.
And that team may be a bunch of different people. Like I said, nephrologists, it could be a dietitian like you, Michelle, right? That's super important. I know that's one of the things that I needed when I started, because changing my diet, there was so much information out there that it just made it really confusing. And all I wanted to do was live. That was all I really wanted to do.
Tell me what to eat. Let me,
Tell me what
just
to
tell
eat,
me.
put it in front of my face. I'll eat it. I don't care if it tastes like cardboard. I just want to live.
I
And
don't make you eat cardboard.
there you go. So then a social worker, right? Very important to have on your side to help you navigate all different aspects of life and insurance and payments, and what is this going to cost me, and is my insurance going to cover this, and how does this work? And so then we also need to start having the conversation, especially my stage 4, stage 5 patients, having the conversation with a transplant coordinator.
Yes.
Far too often, patients don't understand transplant. They don't understand what's needed. They just think that I can call a friend, they love me, and they're going to give me their kidney, and the doctor's going to open up my back and put in a new one, take out the old one. My friend only needs one. We're good.
Yeah, right.
So if it gets to that point, I got a guy on standby. And it's like, no.
Oh,
that's not accurate. Please don't follow that advice.
the guy, I have a guy, I have a sister, I have a this.
Please don't follow that advice. a professional, somebody who's been through the process. And if you've been through the process, you're a professional. I don't care what degree you have or not. You've gone through the process, you're a professional. You're already a warrior because you show up every day for dialysis.
Yeah.
So if you've been through those processes, we want to be able to help people who have not been through that process. So you got to be able to have the transplant coordinator, the dietitian, the social worker, the nephrologist, the primary care person, and there's more. I have a pathologist, somebody that can read kidney slides and understand a biopsy. And
Yeah.
that's the whole way that we found that it was that my disease was related to toxic chemical exposure
Yeah.
because we added a pathologist and I had a kidney biopsy. So those things are important. The team that you have around you is very important, just like any other job, just like
Exactly.
any other team oriented football team or whatever. The
Yeah.
team matters,
Yeah.
and those personnel, they matter.
Yeah, that's great. And so bring it back to, on the summit we have, I definitely wanted to be sure we brought in conversation about transplants, conversation about, those, yeah, it could be dialysis and maybe you're a transplant candidate, maybe you're not, because people just need to hear and start listening and changing the mindset. Again, bringing in some more emotional, support as well, because it's a mindset of,
It is.
where are you at and what do you need to think about? And also with our family and caregivers around too, it's just really a lot.
Yes.
However, you had said you're an advocate and, are you someone that helps people with that transition to transplant? Are you one that helps provide them support to be able to say, okay, Dan's gonna help me get in front of the right people, or help me? Like, tell me more about what your foundation can provide.
Sure, absolutely. And I appreciate you asking. The Enlisted Kidney Foundation, the reason I created the foundation, right? The whole reason it exists in the first place is because there's a gap. And when I was
Mhm.
going through my trials and tribulations, when the doctor told me that you have 12 months to live and you're not going to see outside of this room, and oh, by the way, it's COVID and your wife can't be here and your son can't be here, and you need to say your goodbyes over the phone
Oh
because we
my
don't know how
God.
to control your blood pressure. We don't know how to control the strokes and the pulmonary embolisms. And we don't know any of that. And we just don't understand why all of this is happening at the same time. Oh, your liver's shutting down. Oh, your kidney function is bad. And, and there was, okay, doc, well, what do we do? And they just go, and that's where I was like, oh my God. So it really took a minute for me to understand that I needed to be the smartest person in the room.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Once I understood that and I started educating myself, I really started understand. I went through VA healthcare. I didn't have private insurance, so I went through
Mhm.
VA healthcare. And at the time, I was only rated for PTSD through the VA,
Okay.
and I didn't have any medical issues or anything like that. So I didn't know how to navigate that space. I tried to navigate it the same way I would civilian healthcare.
Doesn't work like that.
They're two different, completely different systems, and they're completely different plans of treatment and progression and escalation levels and all this stuff. It's completely different. So when I reached out to other foundations and nonprofits for the help in that space of navigation, I couldn't find help. It was trial and tribulation.
Mhm. Mhm.
So it was me standing up in front of people and telling them while being sick, telling them that I need help and I need representation and that I need
Yes.
somebody to look into this with me
Yes.
and grab the attention of people. And that led me into a foundation that was sole purpose to find a cure for kidney disease. So then I was like, there are people, there are things out there that can help people. And how come I'm not one of them? So
Mhm.
when I realized that I made it out of the other side, kind of,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
kidney disease is not gone for me, but it is manageable. And once I was able to get it manageable, well, now my purpose in life is to correct those ailments in our
Yeah.
system. You
Yeah.
know, the rules, the regulations, the laws, those things need changed and corrected because there's bad problems with those. There are just people not thinking about the things and the person in the chair that's going
Mhm.
through it.
Mhm.
So
Totally.
the Enlisted Kidney Foundation was created, and what we do is we take our community, whether you're a veteran, whether you're a kidney disease patient, whether you have PTSD, whether you don't have any of that, whether you're a supporter, maybe you're just feeling unheard
Mhm.
in your particular space. I want to pay attention to you. The Enlisted Kidney Foundation is going to pay attention to those that feel unheard. Over the years, I've been able to build an amazing network of friends
Yeah.
in all different aspects of this industry, whether it's the pharmaceutical side, whether it's foundations trying to find a cure for rare kidney diseases, whether it's people at other kidney foundations nationally that are trying to spread the word and education about what is kidneys and what is kidney disease and how many
Mhm.
people are actually affected by this, right? All
Tons.
those things are very, very important. But the Enlisted Kidney Foundation is different than a lot of those foundations because of the way that we take action. I want to be able to sit down with you one on one. I want to be able to have somebody that's knowledgeable about this space put you in front of the right people at the right time, right? Michelle, if I got somebody that came to EKF and they were like, Dan, I just got diagnosed, CKD3, what do I do? Who do I need to get in front of? I don't know what to do. The first conversation we're having, Michelle, is you got to get to a dietitian.
Yeah.
We have to start improving those things.
Right.
Number one, right? We just
Yeah.
talked about those things.
Right.
What can we do today? So I really pride the Enlisted Kidney Foundation for being that organization that helps you take your very next step.
Yes.
Not always, I
Yes.
can't always provide the light at the end of the tunnel for everybody. A lot of that work has to be done by the patient, unfortunately,
Hmm.
because the education's not out there. Now, listen, if this was diabetes, you can almost treat diabetes at CVS.
Yeah.
But a lot of diabetes turns into kidney disease and then there's no treatment.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it's like, oh, that's it. And then the doctor says, oh, it was from hypertension, diabetes. So that's what it caused and it
Yeah,
caused it. And then
you
here
ate
you
too
are
much
left with
salt your
it.
whole
And
life.
then,
Have a
yeah.
nice day.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
So
But
there are things that you can do. We use our resources, the ones that we've come in contact with, like you, Michelle, right?
yeah.
We put people in front of those people so that way you can take your professional aspects of this
Hmm.
industry and apply it to that person's needs. Then,
Yep.
right then, today, and that person's needs may be different. I know for me, having membranous nephropathy was different than diabetic nephropathy,
Sure.
right? Or
Yeah.
polycystic kidney disease. Those things are different and they're treated differently. Maybe you have a rare kidney disease and you just don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe you're spilling protein. There's a lot of different questions. So we want to sit in front of you, the Enlisted Kidney Foundation, and we want to be able to have that conversation with you and get you in front of the right resources at the right time for your journey.
Yeah.
Because that's all that at the end of
It's
the day
like,
is what matters.
it's like like I love it. Right. I do everything you're saying. I'm like, oh my God. Like, because I am just as passionate about that, helping people where they're at. I always say, if you're going to show up to an appointment or you're going to text me or something or ask me a question, I'm there for you because you have a question and you need help. And I'm not just kind of, going through the motions. And neither are you. You are clearly passionate about that person because that is a person and treat others as you want to be treated. Like that's just the golden rule. That's how I live my life. And so, yeah, and it's really just kind of finding out, well, what do you need to help you? For everyone, it's different, Oh, like again, I work with a client and she was at a place that she needed a social worker. I was having conversations that it was like, oh, this is not about food, although it's a very important conversation. And I
Yeah.
need to find the right person for you. And I care about that for that person because every night and every day that person is living this struggle and their family is living it with them. And I just feel like, everyone is worthy and deserving of getting the right information and thriving and control. And I want to kind of leave on what our whole mission and what this whole kind of summit is about is confidence, taking control, and you help them get the control back that they need so that they're not kind of sitting in home and depending on other people kind of guiding them and hoping it's right. you have taken control of your situation, being the smartest person in the room, understanding and taking control. And now you're leading other people to be able to take that control and being confident and knowing, what the, like you say, kidney disease, it's all different. Everyone's story is different. And we really don't know what is going to happen. The body is a machine. We really don't know. There's studies that show certain things, but at the end of the day, sometimes the cards are where they are, but that you can go through this journey knowing you've done everything that you can in your power to be able to do what is right for you as a person with the condition. So
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of people are these nonprofit organizations that are out there are designed to help people, and as a veteran,
mhm,
I look at a lot of organizations that help veterans, and I'm a combat veteran. I'm a 100% disabled veteran, and I've never really received a lot of help from a veteran
mhm,
organization,
mhm.
even one I was battling kidney disease, and because it just didn't exist.
Yeah.
So we really want to be out there. I want to be able to provide this information to people. I don't charge patients $1. I don't charge you a dime. We are a
Mhm.
501c3. We're a nonprofit organization. We do our work for the people for free. But I go and I grab and I have these, we got to have the donors that are donating to the organization so that way we can provide that. Like I had a patient that reached out to us the other day, wasn't newly diagnosed. This patient was on
Mhm.
dialysis for 5 years and was thinking about ending dialysis and taking
Wow.
themselves off dialysis because getting to dialysis was extraordinarily like inconvenient. It was hard for that person. They were single, didn't have a team around them. All that person needed was assistance getting to their dialysis appointment. If you can just help me, so like things like that, where you can take funds, provide a bus ticket to
Yeah.
somebody, or maybe I can just get you an Uber for the week. Little
Right.
things that matter in your world because
Right.
everybody's world is different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why the
Totally.
Enlisted Kidney Foundation is special. That's why we're one of the fastest growing foundations in America in this space because this is what we're doing for people.
Yeah.
I'm putting green bracelets on
I
people all
love it.
over
I
the
know.
country, and we're spreading the word. You'll be surprised. I don't want people to feel alone with kidney disease. And that's one of the biggest points about what you do, what I do, is that there's resources out there to help you, right? Maybe you're a
Mhm.
veteran and you haven't gotten rated and you don't know how to rate it, but you think that maybe you've been exposed to toxic chemical. Hello, I'm here. I've been through it.
Yeah.
Let us
Yeah.
help you because
Yeah.
it's hard to
It's
go through
awesome.
by yourself.
Totally. And it's just like, come join me. I will help you. Tell me, how do people reach you? Where can we find you?
Absolutely. So the best place to find us is on the internet, enlistedkidneyfoundation.org. I'm on all the socials. You'll see
Yeah.
this face. May not be the prettiest face in the world, but you'll see me all over the social media: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. We're on there
Love it.
at the Enlisted Kidney Foundation. Come find us. We have a little sign up at our website, enlistedkidneyfoundation.org/contact us, #join EKF. That'll take
Perfect.
you right to the form. You can also see it on our contact us page. And what that is like a small intake form. I just want to learn a little bit about you. I don't
Mhm.
sell your information to all these other companies so you can get a bunch of random phone calls. I just want to learn a little bit about you. And the next thing that's going to happen is we're going to reach out because I want to do a one-on-one with you. I want to sit down. I'm going to give you an hour, right? I don't care about the 10 minutes. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a
Yeah.
medical professional. I'm not going to give you medical terminology and advice. I want to help you with your journey and I want to
Yeah.
maybe put you in front of that transplant team. I want to
Yeah.
maybe get you out of that dialysis chair, right? Maybe I can just get you a blanket so you're warm during
Not,
dialysis
not
and just
freezing.
make it
Yeah,
feel a little bit
exactly.
easier.
Yeah.
Maybe you need
Yeah.
a ride to get to your dialysis because that's what's frustrating you,
Yeah.
but who's paying attention to that? I want to pay
Mhm.
attention to the one that's in the chair, whether that's the doctor chair, the office waiting chair, the chair filling out the form that nobody's going to read, or the dialysis
And
chair. I
people,
want to
you
be
want
able to extend that, and I care about that. And that's
to,
what the EKF does. So I appreciate your platform. I appreciate you, Michelle, for what you do in this space and
Thank
what your
you.
team does. I
Yeah.
appreciate everybody that's a part of your summit that's out here talking kidney disease with us.
Yes.
I look forward to meeting every last one of you, everybody that's on this summit. One of the things that we want to be able to make sure that we give out. So I told you our resources are free.
Yes.
I don't charge patients or anything like that, any kind of money to get access to us and have these conversations. What I do want to make sure that I communicate to these people is that I can't talk to everybody on the planet at the same time. I can't.
We want to save the world. I know, Dan, we can't save the world, but yeah.
We want to be able to try.
Yeah.
And we also want you to go out around town and represent the Enlisted Kidney Foundation. So everybody that comes to us, mention this summit. I want to make sure EKF20 is a discount code you can use on our website. We have a merch shop. You can get all types of cool stuff. We got hats and sweatshirts and hoodies and T-shirts that say, you know, not all wounds are visible, right? Because we got some wounds that are internal that people can't see, and that's important. I got the Filter Life shirts on there, so you know you can tell your friends we're living that Filter Life and we're having the conversation. So EKF20 at checkout gives you a 20% discount on anything that we have in our store for all of your customers. And I also want to make sure that if you mention this summit in your registration, I'm gonna move you to the top of the line. We're gonna get you set up ASAP. I want to have that one-on-one with you before our season gets really, really, really busy. So the sooner you can reach out to us, the better. We're always here for you, keeping the fight, and you're never out of it.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you again for being here, sharing your story, sharing what you do. I think it's a really important conversation, just like you do. Until the next time, I know we'll be working together again. I know we will, because I love your passion. All right.
Absolutely.
Thank you again.
Thank you, Michelle. You guys take care.
Bye.